Howdy y'all, welcome back to the Wright Brothers in our 8th installment of Love Letters from the Left. Now for those of you who are new, this is the time when we know there's lots of things going on in the world and people are really stressed out. And we're grateful to those of you out there in our tribe who have sent us messages of encouragement throughout this time. But there are some people on the left-hand side of the aisle who have taken this time to really air their grievances, not just with the world as it were, but with my brother and I. And today we're going to get into it. Now remember, we do this in the spirit of the Greek philosopher Epictetus, who famously said, "Any person capable of angering you becomes your master. He can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed by him." So in the spirit of Epictetus, let's get into Love Letters from the Left, Volume 8.
Howdy y'all, let's get right down into it. Our first love letter comes from someone who, I'll give you a little bit of a setup here. He was interested in going back into history. So when he goes back into history, I mean, he decided to bust out the well-worn pejorative of Uncle Tom. Now, Damani and I, we've heard this countless times. So my usual comeback to this is, well, have you read the book by Harry Beecher Stowe, Uncle Tom's Cabin? He came back with a unsatisfactory response. I called him out on it. I said he was lying because his description did not match the book. And this was his response to my critique. He says, "How in the hell do you know I'm lying? You asked a question to get a desirable response. I don't give a F about a book from the 1800s. Why is your dumb not talking about the issue at hand, you boot-licking Negro?" So as you can tell, he was a little bit irascible that night, but if you're going to use a pejorative, it would behoove you to maybe do a little bit of research into the source material. And if you don't care about a book from the 1800s, maybe don't use an insult originating from that book in the 1800s. Damani, over to you.
That's just common sense, common sense. But wait, there's more. So this comment came to me from the wonderful world of Facebook Messenger. And bear in mind, this comment was unprovoked. I'd never talked to this person before, but they felt it was necessary. And this person, just so you know, is from Canada, actually. But they felt the need to weigh in on our American political landscape. This individual says, "Uncle Tom, your ancestors were enslaved by people like Trump and that support Trump. And you're out here pledging your allegiance to him." Now that's where the comment ended, and usually I just leave it at that, but what I found most eye-opening about this is actually a rare occurrence where this person actually followed up and responded in a surprising manner after I did not respond whatsoever. This person then continued by saying, "Damani, I apologize for my message. I do not support Trump and I respect your views. I should not be letting my anger and ego get the best of me and engaging in trivial topics. I just let my anger of the COVID-19 situation get the best of me." So this is, like I said earlier, this is a rare chance for us to see someone who actually was contrite and who actually apologized.
Wow.
I still did not respond, but it goes to show you that not all who wander are lost. Throwing it back to you.
Well, that and like I said, that is kind of heartening to see something like that happen. We don't often see somebody follow up with an apology for something churlish that they've said. So, props to that person. Maybe come on a little bit less strong next time, and you won't even have to worry about the apology. Mine comes from someone who it was a bit of a long discussion about systemic racism in the United States of America, and this person jumped in the middle of my discussion with someone else on Twitter, and instead of inserting themselves into the conversation politely and kind of picking up where everybody was, they decided to take direct aim, not only at me but also at my faith, which I had never introduced to the conversation, but it's on my profile. I'm unabashedly a Christian. I wasn't proselytizing at the time, but they chose to make that an issue. So here's a little bit of our exchange. They said, "I'm always amazed and confused at people who deny the existence of systemic racism and oppression of others just because they have been lucky enough to succeed. I notice it more in Christians than others. That's all." Now, I had a couple issues with this, but the main critique, or my main response back to it, was that I am not lucky. It's the only part of my existence that I view as being extremely fortunate is coming up in a stable 2-parent household, which, as we all know, is a linchpin to success, regardless of race or economic class. But so I came back and I said, there's nothing lucky about me at all. Any minority can succeed as I have. Doesn't take some magic bullet to do so. Should have been the end of the conversation. They came back and said, anyone can be lucky, no matter who or what color. I'm sorry you seem to have so little awareness of what others go through. It is sad to see. I'm sorry your faith has not made you more compassionate and interested in justice for all, but you do you. And this kind of goes back to what I've said before in previous installments. It's not about who's being lucky or not. It's about if someone is going to debate you in good faith, then at the very least, you shouldn't pander to them and say, well, you just kind of got a pass. You're not really someone who's representative of the so-called black experience. If that's where you're going to start the conversation, we're at an impasse from Jump Street. Damani?
No, well said, as usual. As usual. We press on. This comment comes to us from the world of Twitter. And this person, their Twitter name, I'm not even going to read because it is a vulgarity in and of itself. But that should give you an indication of what is to come.
Nice.
This is a long one, so bear with me. This person starts off by saying, hello. You are one of the most idiot person to ever exist. Not only are you a follower and supporter of that disgraceful man who currently power over everyone right now, but you are supporting him saying that they should get shot, talking about the protesters. This is in response to my George Floyd riot video. It says, it does not take a genius to figure out that the riots were started by undercover cops. It already disgraceful how you are one of his followers. Might as well educate yourself. If you were truly educated, you would have seen everything that come out of your president's mouth is bigotry, but yet another black person is proudly publishing with follows a man who don't even care if he ended up dying. And it's funny because you're hearing this from a 16-year-old. Shouldn't have told me that, by the way, but we press on. Donald Trump have said the most racist things towards black people, and you still choose to stand / quote what he has to say. Lastly, I have one question to ask. When was America ever great? So yeah, to this person, what I'll say is, first off, spell check. It's not that hard. Basic grammar. It's not that hard. Speaking correctly is not that hard. Now, to answer the question, when was America ever great? I'll pose it to you this way. America was great when we didn't have people like this jumping on random strangers' profiles to air their political grievances. That's all I have to say, and I'm throwing it back to my brother.
That was pithy. I like that. Just short, sweet, and to the point. I wish this next person had been a little bit less long-winded. This was kind of a long-running conversation about there's a statue on the Texas A&M campus of Lawrence Sullivan Ross. You can go look it up. There's a huge debate over whether it's appropriate to be on campus or not. Some people don't like that he served in the Confederate Army. Other people want to focus on the fact that he was vital in the foundation and in the survival of Texas A&M University, which is, of course, the alma mater of Damani Bryant Felder and myself. But you know, this is a person who disagreed, and they were excited. They were excited when they saw me pop up on their profile. Here's what they had to say. They said, "Look, y'all, I found the older brother of that black dude from A&M who's always tap dancing for his MAGA followers on social. They're both coons. Look at his weak Twitter, Abby. I'm crying." All due respect, I was actually the one that initiated the conversation with him, so I found him, not the other way around. But it's kind of funny. The coons thing, we've heard that a million times. You're going to have to be more original if you want to actually get a reaction from Damani and I. But it's funny that nowadays I have to introduce myself as the one who's related to Damani because he is far more successful and far more prolific on social media than I know. It's hilarious. I love it. So it was kind of funny that the light bulb came on in this young man's head and he was able to put two and two together. So yes, for those who may not know, that is my brother and we're proud of it. Damani, what do you have?
Oh gosh, never a dull. Remember, this is the cream of the crop. We have plenty of comments to sort through, but we bring you the best of the best because that's why we do what we do. Mwah. Anyway, this next one comes to me from an individual in Kansas City, Missouri, which it bears mentioning is actually a city dealing with rampant crime, but I digress. This individual says, and they, by the way, they do share the same skin color as me and my brother. This person says, "Man, you sound stupid as in that video. It was majority white people looting, but your Uncle Tom don't GAF sad. They don't give a about your black but do your thing." So I appreciate this individual being brief, at least. All I did was I responded and I said, "God bless you." To which this person responded, "Same to you." So this goes just to show that sometimes you can indeed turn away wrath with a soft answer. So throwing it back to my brother.
Sage advice, Damani. This next one actually is in a similar vein. This was also coming from a Texas A&M student or alum. I wasn't really sure. It was surrounding the debate about the Lawrence Sullivan Ross statue. And what this person did, it's a multi-part comment. They wanted to put some reading material in front of me. And I'll read their first comment. It said, "Worth a read with an open mind." They gave me a link. It was basically to a study that says that any black person who agrees with a white person on matters of race has some sort of internalized racism, basically a Stockholm syndrome for racism. And so I responded back, "Is your hypothesis that since I don't favor the removal of a memorial to a key figure in my alma mater's history, not even memorialized in a racial military context, by the way, that I must suffer from internalized racism? Do I judge your thrust correctly here?" And they responded back in the affirmative. "Just wanted you to read about that theory in case you weren't aware of it. The more knowledge, the better. If you feel differently about the statue than a majority of POC students at TMU, that's okay and valid, dude. But you really should give that whole thing an honest read." And so you can see my response on the screen. Basically, this type of response where it's kind of passive aggressive. "Oh, I just want to put something in front of you to read with an open mind." I'm going to give you all a word of advice. If you disagree, that is not the way to do it, because what it basically does is it infantilizes the person that you're talking to. You're treating them as if they don't know that they are, in a sense, a defective minority. Like they should not say what they are saying or say what you disagree with them saying. And the only reason that you can fathom that they disagree with it is because they internalized racism. Not that they have their own reasons for it, not that they have their own justifications for what they believe or how they vote, but it's only due to the fact that someone got to them and they are not thinking clearly. It's an insanely false premise to come from. And to this person's credit, they said they were sorry if it came across that way as pandering. And they told me have a nice day, and I wish them the same. So it ended on a genial note, but just a word to the wise, that's probably not going to garner a positive response 9 times out of 10. If this person had tried it with someone else, it might have been a far more bombastic response. So just a word to the wise.
Well said, well said. And I've got one more before we shift gears a little bit. This one actually came to us via emails. This means that a person, usually people, they'll write a quick comment on social media and be done with it. This person actually had to go to my social media, look up my email, and then send me this email.
They went the extra mile.
This is what they said.
The extra mile.
Yeah, and it bears mentioning that this message is written in all caps because we all know that means that it carries more weight. This person says, "What's up, you Candy Cane Owens and the Barbie twins have your noses so far up them crackers," with 3 Ks, as Aziz, "I don't know how you breath." Your day is coming. Once Donnie Trump loses this election, they will discard all of you dumb sama bitches like they did Polly and Esther, the AKA Diamond, Doo-Doo, and Silky Why don't you motherfuckers go ahead and bleach your skin and get it over with? We won't miss you, Fuchs. First off, if anyone out there watching can translate what I just read and make it make sense in the English language, please write a comment below and please translate. We'll arrange compensation in the future. But this is just one individual who took it upon himself to go out of his way, like I said before, to find my personal email and then type this email address in. I just wonder, People who act this way, what do they do when they're done sending the message? Do they say, oh yeah, that'll show them? Are they proud of themselves? Do they pat themselves on the back? I have no idea. But you know what? Like I said before, we're going to shift gears because there's far too much positivity in the world, in our world specifically, to deal with this negativity. And for that, I'm going to throw the floor over back to my brother.
Yeah, and like we always say, we get far more positive comments than negative from people of every stripe, every creed, every race. It's amazing, and truly we have to kind of go out of our way a little bit to find the negative comments sometimes, and that brings us a lot more encouragement than anything that I can possibly say. So thank you in advance for everyone who's supporting us. This comment was on one of the videos that Damani had done, the Taking Down Liberal Hollywood Entertainers. This person, I'm not going to try to pronounce your name. It's CIRESCYTHE. So I apologize for not pronouncing it. I didn't want to butcher it. But anyway, this person says, they stumbled over your channel yesterday. Wow, I have really been missing out. I enjoy your more lighthearted video just as much as the completely serious ones. You deserve way more subs. And honestly, thank you so much. We don't come into this thinking that we deserve a single sub. We don't do this for subs. We don't do this for money. We do this because this is a hobby. This is our true thoughts. And anyone who deigns to lend us an ear, we appreciate more than we can say. So comments like this completely make our day. Especially, saying that you appreciate both tones of our videos, because our videos run the gamut, and we try to have a little bit of something for everyone. So it makes us happy to know that it's hitting home with so many of you. And once again, we really appreciate the support. Damani, what do you have for our spotlight on the right?
Absolutely. I've got one more myself, then we'll close this 8th volume of Love Letters from the Left out. This one comes to us from Charles Cartwright. This individual says, in response to my liberal Hollywood video, the common sense video I did, he says, right on, Damani. Folks need to think and react to facts, not emotions. Who is BLM? The facts are out there. Who supports them? The facts are out there. But you will not hear the truth on our mainstream media. Hollywood has been out of touch with reality for years. Look for facts, folks. That is where the Wright brothers excel. Well, thank you, Charles, for that compliment. We really do appreciate it. And we do try to make sure everything that we produce is factually based. As my brother said, we do have many different styles. Some videos will make you laugh. Some videos will make you cry. Well, all videos, we hope, will make you think, because that's the most important thing. And everything that we do is grounded in facts and a lot of hours of behind-the-scenes research behind the scenes to make sure that we are ideologically consistent and absolutely correct. So thank you, Charles, and thank you to all of y'all out there for y'all's comments of support and encouragement. We couldn't do this without you. We love engaging with y'all. But for those who want to engage on a more deep level, please feel free to chat on over to our Facebook page, The Wright Brothers IPID, where you can check out what my older brother, who runs the page over there, what he's doing to help keep you updated on the news in real time. For those of you who have supported us financially through Patreon, we can't say thank you enough. Everything you see, all the enhancements we've made in our short, barely 2-year career on YouTube is because of your generosity. So we want to thank y'all. And for those of you who do feel inclined to support us financially through Patreon, you can do so in the link in the description box below. But again, this is our 8th volume of Love Letters from the Left. It hopefully did not disappoint. We love collating these comments and bringing them to you, not to show any sort of feelings of being oppressed, but to really show you the proper way to react to this calumny that we frequently engage in from our friends on the left-hand side of the aisle. But we hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe if you have already, share it with a friend, help us keep spreading the word. Identity politics is dead. But we love you guys. We will see y'all in the next one, and we appreciate each and every one of you, and we will catch you later. Y'all take care.
The first revolution is when you change your mind about how you look at things and see that there might be another way to look at it that you have not been shown. The revolution will not be televised, and be no rerun, brothers and sisters. The revolution will be live.